Welcome back, everyone, to another episode where we break down real English learning problems that most learners never even realize they are facing. Today's topic is something very serious because it silently stops millions of learners from improving, even when they study every day.
We're talking about the 3 habits that are accidentally killing your English progress. And the shocking truth is that many of these habits feel productive, but they're actually slowing you down without you noticing.
Have you ever studied English for months or even years, watched videos, read lessons, and still felt like you cannot speak naturally when someone talks to you in real life?
If your answer is yes, then you might be experiencing what we call passive learning syndrome, a condition where you consume a lot of English input, but never truly activate it in real communication.
Passive learning syndrome happens when your brain becomes very good at recognizing English, but very weak at producing it. You understand words, you understand sentences, but you struggle to create your own.
It feels like you are learning because you are always exposed to English content, but in reality, your speaking muscles are not being trained at all.
Think of it like watching cooking videos every day for a year, but never actually cooking a meal yourself. You will know recipes, techniques, and ingredients, but you won't be able to prepare food when you are hungry.
That is exactly what happens in English learning. You consume information, but you don't transform it into skill through practice and real usage.
In this episode, we are going to break down 3 powerful habits that cause this problem and stop your progress, even if you are studying every single day.
And once you understand them, you will be able to fix your learning system and finally start speaking English with confidence instead of hesitation.
Now, let's start with the first habit that silently destroys English progress for most learners, and that is memorizing isolated word lists without any context or real-life usage. Many students believe that the more words they memorize, the faster they will become fluent.
So they spend hours writing lists like apple, angry, travel, important, and try to remember hundreds of single words every week, thinking this will automatically improve their speaking ability.
The problem is that isolated words do not teach you how to speak. They only help you recognize meaning, but they don't show you how words actually connect in real conversations.
For example, knowing the word important does not help you say natural sentences like, "This meeting is really important for our project," unless you have seen it used in real context.
English is not built from single words. It is built from chunks, phrases, and patterns that native speakers use automatically, without thinking about grammar rules.
When you memorize words alone, your brain stores them like disconnected pieces of information. So when you try to speak, you still don't know how to combine them properly.
This is why many learners say, "I know a lot of words, but I cannot speak English." They recognize vocabulary, but they cannot produce sentences in real time.
A better approach is to always learn words inside full sentences or real situations, so your brain connects meaning, usage, and emotion together at the same time.
For example, instead of memorizing travel, you learn, "I love to travel during holidays because it helps me relax and reset my mind."
Now, your brain is not just remembering a word, it is learning how to use it naturally in conversation.
The key takeaway is simple. If you want to speak English fluently, stop collecting words like objects and start learning them like tools inside real sentences.
Because fluency is not about how many words you know, but how naturally you can use them when speaking.
And this small shift in learning style is what separates slow progress from real fluency.
In the next habit, we will look at another mistake that feels productive but actually blocks your speaking ability even more.
Now, let's move to the second habit that quietly stops millions of learners from speaking English confidently, and that is over-focusing on grammar rules before actually speaking. Many learners believe they must master grammar perfectly before they are allowed to speak.
So they spend months studying tenses, conditionals, and sentence structures, trying to understand every rule in detail. But they rarely practice forming real sentences in conversation.
The problem is that grammar knowledge alone does not create speaking ability. You can know every rule in the book and still freeze when someone asks you a simple question in English.
Because speaking is not a test of rules. It is a fast reaction skill that requires your brain to produce language instantly, without overthinking every structure.
Imagine someone who knows all the rules of driving, but has never actually driven a car. They can explain how to turn, brake, and accelerate, but they cannot drive smoothly in real traffic.
That is exactly what happens when learners focus too much on grammar without speaking practice. They become good at explaining English, but not using English.
In real conversations, you do not have time to think about grammar rules. You need to respond naturally, based on patterns you have practiced repeatedly.
That is why native speakers speak fluently without thinking about grammar rules at all. They rely on habit, not analysis.
A better approach is to learn basic grammar and then immediately apply it in speaking practice, even if your sentences are not perfect at first.
Because fluency comes from repetition and correction over time, not from waiting until everything is perfect in your head.
The key message here is simple. Grammar is useful, but it should support speaking, not delay it.
If you wait until your grammar is perfect, you will delay your fluency forever. Because perfection does not exist in real conversation.
Start speaking early, make mistakes, and improve through real usage instead of endless studying.
In the next habit, we will talk about the most dangerous one of all, the habit that keeps learners silent, even when they already know enough English to speak.
Now we arrive at the third habit, and this is often the most dangerous one because it doesn't feel like a mistake at all. It feels like preparation, discipline, and responsibility. But in reality, it silently blocks your speaking progress.
This habit is waiting for perfect English before you open your mouth. Many learners believe they should only speak when their grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation are flawless.
So they keep studying, keep watching videos, keep reading lessons, but they avoid speaking because they are afraid of making mistakes in front of others.
The problem is that perfection becomes a never-ending target. The more you study, the more you realize there is still something missing. So you keep postponing speaking indefinitely.
But here is the truth. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It is about being understood and improving step by step through real communication.
Every fluent speaker you admire today was once a beginner who made thousands of mistakes while learning. The difference is, they did not wait for perfect conditions to start speaking.
Think about how children learn their first language. They do not study grammar books or wait until they can speak perfectly. They speak early, make mistakes, and gradually improve through interaction.
If children followed the perfect English rule, no one would ever learn to speak a language naturally.
In real life, communication matters more than accuracy. Even broken English can successfully express ideas, emotions, and intentions.
And every time you speak, even with mistakes, your brain learns what works, what sounds natural, and what needs improvement.
The key shift you need is this. Stop aiming for perfect English and start aiming for clear communication.
Because clarity improves through practice, not preparation. Confidence grows through action, not waiting.
The more you speak, the faster your English becomes natural, automatic, and fluent.
In the final part, we will show you how to break all three habits together and build a simple system that finally makes your English progress consistent.
Now that we've uncovered the 3 habits that are secretly killing your English progress, the most important question is not what you learned, but what you are going to change starting today.
Because awareness alone will not improve your English. Real progress only happens when you actively break these habits and replace them with better learning behavior.
So we created a simple but powerful challenge called the 7-Day English Reset Challenge. It is designed to push you out of passive learning and force you into real language use.
Step 1. Stop memorizing isolated word lists for the next 7 days. Instead, learn every new word only in a full sentence or real example from a movie or conversation.
Step 2. For grammar, do not spend more than 10 minutes studying rules. After that, immediately use 1 or 2 sentences out loud, even if they are not perfect.
Step 3. Speak English every single day for at least 2 minutes, even if you are alone. Describe your day, your thoughts, or repeat lines from movies you like.
The goal of this challenge is not perfection. The goal is to break your fear, your hesitation, and your habit of overthinking before speaking.
Because once you start using English daily, even in small ways, your brain begins to shift from studying language to actually living it.
And that is the moment when real fluency starts to grow naturally, without pressure or frustration.
If you complete this 7-day challenge, you will notice something important. English will start to feel less like a subject and more like a skill you can actually use.
So here's your final call to action. Don't just listen to this episode and move on.
Take the challenge seriously. Start today. Break the habits and prove to yourself that your English can improve faster than you ever expected.
We'll see you in the next episode where we'll continue helping you build real confidence in English step by step.
Until then, keep practicing, stay consistent, and remember, fluency is built through action, not waiting.